we're absolutely going to spend some time looking at this entire board of Trailblazer relics. For sure. Do you want to just do that right now? Let's just do that right now. Boys, welcome to this theory crafting video on these relics. And we already know what the categories of these tiers are. We know that tier 1, well, we know exactly what the tier 1 relics are. But we know that the category of tier 2 is all about teleports, boosting your teleports. Tier 3 is about combat. Tier 4 is about utility. Tier 5 is skilling again. And tier 6 is combat. It's so cool that they're categorizing them like this so that you're not polarizing your account totally from everyone else. And you're going to be more confident in your choice this time around, because instead of like skipping the combat relic on tier 2 and like saving it for 4, or once you get to 4, you're like, well, maybe do I really want to make this into a combat account? No. Everyone's going to have a very similar account build this time around, and once you get to each tier, you're just going to make the choice at that point, and it's all going to be good. It's going to be fun, it's going to be fine, it's going to be awesome, okay? Our entire theory crafting right now is going to be looking at these symbols and thinking about what they could possibly be referring to. Tier 2. We know. Well, let's look at tier 1 first, actually. We know what they are, so we can look at the things we can look at their mind as to how are they designing these icons to mean what they mean. Endless Harvest. We have. Could you consider those to be up arrows or not? No, actually that's ore. So tier 1, the symbol here is ore planks. Or you could call that a log, actually. Let's call it a log, a single log. A log, ores, and fish. Because Endless Harvest is times your resources in those 3 categories, and Autobank. Autobank's not represented at all, but it's saying these 3 items, resources, are affected by this. Production Master. You have a hammer and a knife, and there's a sparkle. So those things are enhanced. You process the entire inventory at once. Skilling Prodigy. That's a human, right? Is that a human figure? Boys, I'm looking at the Skilling Prodigy icon, and it looks like a smelly pig totem. I'm sorry, I actually don't see anything else. So I'm sorry, I don't see how... I get it. I think it might be a humanoid person, I think. Skilling Prodigy is a guy sitting cross-legged? Okay, so it's a guy sitting cross-legged, and he's got the aura of skill of, I don't know, increased skill coming out of him. Now we know the kinds of icons they're putting out. Let's look at the rest of these and guess at what they could possibly be. Can you zoom into the tier we're looking at? That's a good idea. Here we are looking at tier 2. It's right next to me. Tier 2, the teleport category. We have 2. What items would you call that? At first I saw swords, but now I see short, fat knives, and now I see little trowels. Those are fairy rings. Those are little mushrooms. Would fairy rings even be helpful if you can't access most areas? I don't know. They'll be helpful, but would they be worth choosing over other things if you can't access most areas? I don't know. But do you guys see the same thing that I'm seeing? So Chad is suggesting a couple of things here. Maybe it's a teleport to 5 different churches. You think that those are churches and not little mushrooms. I'm calling them little mushrooms. I see chicken drumsticks. Okay, so maybe we get a... How would you explain this symbol up top? What do you see there? I see a bow. I see 2 tools that are crossed, but I can't tell what those tools are other than like a knife or a trowel or something. What do you see? Symbol up top is crossed swords, 100%. You think that those are swords, 100%. When we have swords to compare them to, this is how they make swords. When they have a lot of room, that's how they make swords. But they certainly made them really skinny over here in tier 6. You think that those are swords, 100%, no questions asked, though. It's a fairy, 100%, huh? You also see crossed swords. Looks like a butterfly. It does... It looks like a moth or a butterfly. I really like that thought, actually. It looks like a Zelda fairy. I like that thought a lot, that it's a little winged creature, because if you think about the wings, why else would they curve the outside of the top part of the X there like that if it wasn't wings? A fairy! It's obviously a fairy! What are we talking about? I said it was fairy rings, it's a fairy. Okay, we got it. Confirmed. That's a fairy and mushrooms. Okay, it works too well together. What aspect of fairy rings could we possibly be getting here? I don't know. What would this relic do? Tele to a fairy ring from anywhere is pretty sweet. That could be really cool. Okay, teleport to fairy rings from anywhere. I like that thought. What if it was teleport from a fairy ring to anywhere? Now that'd be too strong, right? That'd be too strong. Probably teleport to a fairy ring from anywhere. That's legit. I think that'd be really easy to do. I think one more thing is that you wouldn't require the Drawman staff to use them. I think that they would naturally throw that in there. That's basically the same thing as Tele to any. I agree. But it would give the added benefit if you were to spawn one that you could also go back to that place. I think that's too strong. Okay, I have no idea what the second relic in this tier is. Okay, let's look at that. That's an amulet, and then what do you see as those bottom two lines? I see a couple of poorly drawn arrows pointing inward. It's unlimited jewelry charges. It's gotta be. Oh, it's hands. Wait, everyone see hands? Everyone sees hands. I can't believe how many people just had hands right there. You guys see like little stickman arms? Is that what you're seeing? Little stickman arms, huh? The hands are upwards? Oh, those are shoulders. Those are shoulders. The hands are upwards, like holding the amp. So some people are seeing up and some people are seeing down. Yeah, this is quite clear. Infinite charges on jewelry. Do you think that it means that you have to unlock the piece of jewelry first, or you just get jewelry? I'm imagining that you have to first unlock the jewelry, get it, and then you'll have infinite charges with it. Now, this is interesting because for us to get, for me to have infinite charges on my jewelry, that's going to suddenly feel like playing my main again, because on my main, I just go to Grand Exchange, I buy like 100 glories, and I just have those sit in the bank until I use them all, and then I buy like 100 more. You know what I'm saying? That's like the normal game all of a sudden. So you're going to have to adjust as an ironman. Probably not worth getting that one if that's all it is. Infinite charges. Would you guys consider getting it if it also provided you with the jewelry right away? Just make a house glory? Good point. That's a very good point. The third tier, right next to me, right here, pointing at it, right there. Obviously a return symbol. It reminds me of a lodestone. Not that I'm an RS3 player, but it does remind me of lodestones. And therefore, it was actually just suggested in chat that maybe there's free unlimited teleports to like the normal teleport spots. So you could go to Varrock and Falador and Lumbridge. You could just teleport there as many times as you want without runes. What do you think about that one? For me, that would be a crappy relic, honestly. Return to last location, but how do you record what your last location is? Teleport back to where you were 30 seconds ago? I don't like the sound of that theory. I don't think it would be that. Maybe it lets you set a specific location and teleport back to that spot? That'd be nuts. That'd be crazy. Now that would be the one to choose. What specifically is hype about it? If you have Relic 1 and you're fishing Karambwans and you have fairy rings on command, yeah, that's pretty good. Let's move on to Tier 3. All right, look at what we have. Tier 3 is a tier all about combat relics. I think a lot of people are obviously going to see immediately the same thing that I see here. The top one's a bow. The second one's a sword. The third one is probably a staff of some kind. Possibly the same as Tier 6 when you look at it, but yeah. Connor's Blessing last time was players gain a 10% increase in accuracy and damage attack for all attack styles, or 30% if the monster is assigned as part of a Slayer task, so probably something a bit stronger. Oh, I see. I get it. I understand what you're saying. So we can compare this to a relic that we had last time, Konar's Blessing, plus 10% accuracy and strength for every single monster, and then an increased bonus to 30% if you're on a Slayer task. Now, what if this is just Konar's Blessing again, but it specifically refers to either range or melee or mage, and it gave an even crazier boost, but you have to be that method. So in this league, is it going to be us choosing to be a ranger, a warrior, or a mage? Are we combating the Shadowlands update and forcing us to choose a class, just like if we were playing WoW? Is it different? Is it different this time around? Maybe it's just static max increase, like 20% bonus for that style, but focused on one skill. I think you're going to want to focus on just one of the combat styles. I agree. If we're correct here, if we're correct that, let's make this picture a little bit smaller, because if we're talking about combat, we need to have category 6, tier 6 in the conversation as well. Because if you see it, now this is very interesting to me. Top row, range. Second row, first one's melee, second one's magic. And then they seem to flip-flop again at the bottom there. If they are just buffing one style, you'd probably want to do the same style both times and then be mega good. Mega good. I would only imagine that would be smart. Tier 3, let's look at what these possibly could mean. I see a bow and arrow with a little amplification on the arrowhead. Does that mean it ignores defense? Could that be a pierce option? Does it ignore defense of every target? That's kind of cool. Tier 2 melee. Once again, an enhanced sword. Honestly, it could be the same thing. Tier 3, the third row of tier 3, that little magic wand with some magic going around it. I'm honestly wondering, staves don't, well, that's the top of a staff, isn't it? I am wondering if this could possibly be a combination of increasing the power of magic, but also giving infinite runes. Like last time. It'd be really cool if they do something like that, but I'm kind of expecting the flat percent upgrades. You think that it's going to be boring? You think it's going to be boring like that? I'm getting attack speed vibes from them. Are you? I'm not in the slightest. The only one that I'm getting an attack speed vibe for is bottom right. And Billy Jim said a really good reason for that. It's because they're doing everything in their power to avoid the blowpipe becoming an absolutely absurd one-tick weapon. So if you increase the attack speed of combat weapons by one tick only, you avoid that problem, and you still get the cool relic of a +1 tick speed boost. Maybe the arrow is very fast. You think, okay, I can see it. So you're seeing the little arrow, the little line on top of the arrowhead means the arrow's moving fast. I'm vetoing it. You know what? I'm going to go all in. This is my one. This is my one for this whole talk right now. It's not that. You're wrong. Melee's is buffed because it gets piety. Right. You're right. We get to have the piety prayer for melee. But magic and range do not get augury and rigor. You're right. One tick blowpipe would be hilarious. It would be hilarious until you realize that you spent 2 regions to get there, both desert and the elf lands, tier 1, if that's how you pronounce it. And then you killed Zulrah for a while. Perhaps you took the increase RNG buff to get it. You got scales for a while, and then you use your brand new blowpipe for all of 30 seconds, and boom, you're out 1.5k darts, and there's no possible way to supply yourself. Right, have fun farming scales. Right, here we are, the utility tier. The utility tier. This is really exciting. We have a little purse on the first row, little satchel with a string around it. Wonder what that would mean. We have a chest, which might possibly remind me of a bank chest. Could this be remote banking? And then on the bottom layer, we have a little finger with a couple of dots around it. Now, we know that they have the power to design little sparkles which they did for Production Master in the middle here. Those are little sparkles or little thicker dots. For this finger, they left a lot of space empty, and they put little single pixel dots around a finger, if anyone sees anything else. That's what I'm seeing. Oh, more inventory space. That's a cool thing to say, guys. So the first one, since it's a little satchel, that could affect your inventory. How would they do that? How would they increase inventory space? Do you think that they would give you an item for your bag to fill a slot, and then you click on it and it's got like 28 extra inventory slots or so? Something like that? A touchscreen relic? Yeah, you have to play on mobile on that one. You see a bag with the Roman numeral 2 on it. That could be a second inventory. And it might function as a bag with 28 extra slots. Do you think that would be worth getting? Not if you choose Relic 1, but that could be cool. Treasure trails? Okay. Which one would refer to treasure trails, do you think? Maybe the finger? They did say that there was a treasure trails relic, didn't they? Unnatural selection, you think so? Maybe a bird with the mouth open? Yeah, that might be... You're right. You know, Rin, I think that you've actually fallen prey to a classic shadow puppetry trick. But I have to take you seriously. It might be a duck calling out into the starry night sky. I wonder what that would refer to, though. You can walk on water in order to attack the ducks in Falador Park with melee. That's probably that perk right there. That's probably that. Probably like a looting bag you can use anywhere. I agree. I was curious, too. I was thinking of an item in your bag, like bag of holding, right? Looting bag. Yes, I agree. 28 extra food would be really cool. If you take Relic 2, that would be a really good way to do it, actually, because I bet Relic 2, they wouldn't make it so that if you filled your bag and your inventory, that it would process the entire 2 inventories. That would be crazy. I don't know. It would be cool if it was a second inventory. I think that's what it is, honestly. Fingers looks the same as unnatural selection. It does? We've got the same hand in the same shape for what was unnatural selection before. Everyone loved unnatural selection, choosing the Slayer assignment that they wanted. That's really cool. So great thing to bring up, guys. Thank you. But we don't have farming contracts this time around, so can you think of other things that you would manually get to pick? Trading fire making without Wintertod? That's going to be actually really, really cool for every nostalgic player out there to train fire making with fire lines this time around. Also, it's not a big hit to your experience rates, really. It's not that bad. Plus, we have got times 16 experience. So it's not going to be bad at all, actually, I promise you. The meta is going to be chop a bunch of maple logs and just burn them. You're going to find a few different places to do that. One of them is Varrock West Bank. One of them is Grand Exchange. One of them is the Rogue's Den. Maybe the middle will randomly place banks and you can access them. Randomly placed banks and you can access them. So there's a bunch of extra banks placed around in the game that allows, yeah, that would be pretty cool if they plopped a bunch of extra chests that only certain people could see or use. That could be cool. That's a bank chest, right? And what else would it be? Trail casket for sure. A trail casket. A clue casket. So yeah, so this is the treasure trail perk. Very cool. Let's move on to tier 5. Tier 5 is our second skill category. So this is going to boost skills. First one is a little bag that looks like the cooking symbol, but I doubt that they would boost cooking. The second one is, again, another boost to woodcutting, mining, and fishing. That's wild to me. There's a little circle around them, but I think that just means like they're gaining power. The third one is a balance, a justice symbol, a law room symbol. What would that do? A potion. It's a potion. Oh, it even looks like a divine potion. It's a little bit too fat for me to call it a potion, a vial. Tier 5 Relic 3 is for rune crafting. You think that's for rune crafting? How so? It looks... Why would they put a law symbol on it, right? Could it possibly be more teleporting? What if for Relic 2 it makes that all spots don't deplete? I would be bored of that one. I don't think that would be very cool. It would make mining very, very AFK. But I don't know how would it make a fishing instance just for you that would never move? I don't like it. Faster resource collection. I was talking with a friend that mining and fishing, even higher levels, are too slow. For some reason, there's a part of me that wants Relic 2 Tier 5 to not interfere with Relic 1, to not totally devalue Relic 1. And I'm not interested in getting ×2 experience in those things. I'm not interested in getting resources faster from those things. Tier 2 Infernal Equipment type Relic, for example, auto burns those supplies for smithing, firemaking, and cooking experience. Wow! I am very, very interested in what Tiny Twist just said there. If you look at the ring around it, it's possible to interpret that as fire burning, right? And you could even possibly see little licks of flames going up as a couple of pixels on the left and the right. That's kind of interesting. If you could auto cook the food, if you could auto smith your stuff, if you could auto burn logs, that's a cool relic idea. No need for law runes, you think? I think that would be lame because there's ways to collect law runes, and I think we'll be able to do that just fine. Why is there a law symbol there? Surely it teleports, right? If it does, it will teleport in a way that would amplify skilling. Auto burn logs would conflict with fletching. It really would. It really would. Unless they design it so that it only starts auto burning logs after your inventory's full. But it would be in their interest to do something like auto burn logs to train fire making, because we don't have Wintertod this time, and I think they might be scared of a lot of players complaining about making fire lines. Maybe a toggle for auto burn. I was considering saying a toggle for auto burn as well. They don't really do toggles for relics. You'd think that they would have done a toggle last league for auto bank, but they didn't. I don't think toggles are in the spirit of the relics. Allow teleports from all spellbooks, maybe even Zaya, or choose new teleport destinations. Do you think that... I don't think that is in the theme of skilling enough for it to be in the skilling category. For if it were that. 1 in 30 logs burn, for example. It could also be balance. Could that be anything? Could it be balance? I don't know. It's just like the law symbol is just so law in RuneScape, right? What would it balance? What if it's double experience for whatever your lowest skill is? The balance skill? That would be very interesting. That's an interesting thing to say. Wow, that is interesting. Because that would not be like broken or anything. If it buffs your lowest skill to bring your account into balance again. Interesting. Do any of these apply to farming? I don't know. We really didn't talk about the first or the third one. We have no idea about these things. I have no idea about the first one. But let's move on. Tier 6. Combat. Once again. An arrow? I didn't even see this until I looked at it just now. That arrow has a star and a heart next to it. That's prayer and hit points. This is a sap relic. You're going to be able to use range to restore both your prayer and hit points. Range is automatic blowpipe specs plus prayer. The second one has the Barrage logo, which Barrage is famous for being area of effect. Chat, Billy Jim is suggesting that the magic one is automatically area of effect for every single spell. I'm a little bit underwhelmed by that one because it does not help single way combat at all. Tier 3, 100% confirmed by me, is faster swings on melee weapons. -1 tick on melee weapons. Maybe it's auto unlock desert treasure. I doubt it. I'm underwhelmed by the suggestion that the mage boost... Thanks for following, everybody. that the mage boost would be area of effect.
Okay.
Could it be area of effect and abyssal accumulator where you have infinite runes? Oh wait. It's not infinite runes. It's like 1/3 of a chance that it doesn't utilize a rune to cast a spell. That's going to be in there, at least. Maybe blood barrage healing on all magic. Boys, thank you for spending this time with me. This took absolutely forever unless I edited well and really cut down to the point of what each of these relics are. If you have different opinions on what these relics are, please leave them in the comments. Tell me which idea attracted you the most, which do you think was the most creative, and which ones do you want? Tell me, let me know that in the comments. Please, if this is your first time here on the YouTube channel, subscribe. I need you to subscribe, and if you subscribe to this YouTube channel, you're gonna do the best. You're gonna beat all of your friends in Trailblazer. I promise you that, and you'll be able to check out my journey as well. Thank you so much for watching. Join the Discord, and I'll see you guys later. Hey everybody, welcome to the stream. So good to have you. I actually went and made a community post on YouTube just a second ago that said, hey, I've never done this before, but there was just a Trailblazer leak and maybe you want to come watch the stream. So we'll see if any of the YouTube boys show up.